How you guys doing? You're right, man. I've had a cracking last couple of weeks. I just got back from Germany a couple of days ago. Arrived in, when did I arrive in? Arrived in on Monday, and then next day taught a weekend program. I've just finished the program today, man. Had such a good time. Worked with a gentleman from Estonia. I think I said in one of my videos before, I've just started to appreciate, not so much appreciate, but just realise how grateful I am to be in a position that I'm in, where people travel from all around the world and take a plane and book flights to come over and work with me. And it's great on so many different levels. Number one, it's great for business. I appreciate the business and the financial side. But even more meaningful, it's great that I get to change people's lives, so I definitely play a part in it. And I get to meet people from all different parts of the world. And I've said this to quite a lot of my clients, and they laugh and they agree. The conversations that I have with clients are conversations that some married couples will never have in 20 years. I'm not saying that to be rude or disrespectful, but it's true. Because I can't really be anything other than honest in myself when I work with people, and I really pride myself on that. And if I'm not honest, then my clients are not going to be honest with me, and how are they going to be honest with women and people? And that's a huge part of the work that we do on all my programs, and this is what helped me to be successful. It's challenging for everyone, and it's challenging for me teaching, but no challenge, no joy, no satisfaction. So that was great. So what I want to do is a couple of things that have come up recently that are common patterns, and they're challenges that my clients have. And I just want to first say, the reason why I can spot these challenges and these issues and these anxiety issues is because I had the same issues and I've worked through these issues. So it takes one to know one. And the positive thing is, it's all positive. I can help my clients, which I'm doing, to overcome their issues, because if you're working with someone and you're struggling with some kind of anxiety problem or insecurity, and they don't know what it's like, they don't understand. I mean, I'm almost reluctant to say that. How can someone help you if they don't really understand, they don't have compassion? So most of the teaching and the work that I do, I've always attributed it to my faith. I couldn't do it without my faith. Now some of you are surprised, some of you are saying to me, wow, have you found God, have you found Jesus? The truth is, I've been a Christian my whole life. I just haven't shared it as public as I am now. I had my own reasons for that. It just didn't feel relevant and right at the time. But I've always believed, since I was a kid, but I don't push my faith on other people. I don't believe that's my calling, and it doesn't feel right. And I have respect for other people, regardless of what faith they are, or whether they believe in God or not. I treat everyone how I want to be treated, with respect. So my faith gives me the strength. I believe I was born to teach, and I believe that the pain and the anxiety issues that I went through with my social anxiety life, same issues as my clients. And I think that's where the trust comes from with my clients. That's why they can trust me and they can relate to me. And more importantly, all these things are all good and well. They can get the results that they want. They can get the confidence, and they do get the confidence, providing that they put the work in. Because as I've said, it doesn't matter. Look, if I'm working with someone and they won't do the work, there's nothing I can do. I can't work with them. You can't force someone. But if I'm working with someone, the clients that I've been working with recently, and the majority of clients that I get, then they're fully committed. So anyway, moving on. Okay, a problem with being emotionally available and opening up. And I'm telling you, right, this is not an easy thing to overcome, but the good news is you can overcome it. But it's not a quick fix. It's not the same to the different types of fears and phobias, right? You've got what I call quick fears, where you're afraid of something, you can say to yourself, right, stop being a coward, you can muster up the courage and you can go and face it and overcome it. But when you're talking about trauma and an anxiety problem with regards to intimacy and being emotional and being emotionally available in a relationship or with people, whether it's in dating, business or family, that takes time. It took me time to be emotionally. See, the way I can speak now and be open and put myself out there, I couldn't do this naturally, right? Actually, I could do it when I was younger, but all of the traumas and the problems and the issues. So I had to build the tolerance and the confidence, and you have to build the stamina. So what I say to my clients is, the first way to solving a problem is to first have the courage to acknowledge that you have it, right? And my clients will be the first to say to me, I don't have to diagnose them. They say, I've got a problem. And, you know, girlfriends have told them, or their friends have told them, or a therapist has told them, or they've realized themselves. And that's the start of all transformation. So if you're struggling right now because you find it hard to be emotional with people and because you're afraid to open up, then my best advice is you have to want to improve it. It has to start with you wanting to. As good as a teacher I am, a confidence coach, and as much as you want to change it, no one can force you. Now, if you're ready to make the changes and you want to overcome this anxiety in this situation, which is really, basically, it is a social anxiety, no doubt about it, but the deeper issue is trauma from childhood. Now, we don't have to get into every childhood issue. As a matter of fact, I don't even need to know what went wrong in your childhood to make this work. All I need to know is that you're committed to moving forward. That's what I do with my clients. Everyone's got their own style of teaching. Some therapists are brilliant. They might sit you down in a chair and they're going to go over your childhood. I don't personally do that. Now, if clients open up to me and they need to get it off their chest, they can talk about whatever they want with me pretty much, and I will listen. And if they ask me, what's your advice? What do you think I can do? I will give the best possible answer. But my teaching is helping you to move forward, because we can't go back into the past. But what we can do is we can fix now. We can make now amazing and the future amazing. The way we do that is we set goals. We identify what our goals are, and we identify what our fears are. And we identify what is the schema, what are the sabotaging beliefs and thoughts that are stopping us. Example, some guys might have a belief that they don't believe that they can get a wife. They don't believe they're good enough. They don't believe that a woman would want to marry them. They don't believe that they can get a date. They don't believe that a woman would be interested in them. So that's the schema. That is the negative perception. That is the trauma. That comes from the trauma. You know, if you don't fix your traumas, then they're going to develop schemas. And if you don't understand what a schema is, it's a negative perception of yourself. It's a belief. I don't believe I can get a wife, or I don't believe any woman would want to date me. Now, that isn't true. But if you don't prove it to be untrue, it's going to remain true. So when you get down to the deep stuff, the heavy stuff, this is a huge part of my work, and I love it, and it's challenging. But for those that really want to change, you won't care that it's challenging. You won't care about the pain that you're going to go through, because when you get victory, when you conquer this and you get the results that you want and you make the changes, because let me make a point of saying, the way most people think is we think about external results. I understand that. So most guys are going to judge themselves on, well, have I got a wife or have I not? If I haven't got a wife, I'm a failure. Can I get a date with a woman, yes or no? Well, at the moment, I haven't got any dates, so that means I'm a failure. But I don't look at it like that. I look at it in this way. How much action are you taking? How much fear are you facing? How much are you challenging yourself? How social are you being? How many people are you speaking to? And if you're not doing anything, then I'll look at that and say, right now, you're choosing to be a failure. Your identity, I don't see you as a permanent failure, but the way you're living your life right now is a loser, a failure, and a coward. And you're choosing to do that. You've got the power, you've got the choice to start living your life as a successful man, as a confident man, and a man that changes his belief system, changes the mindset and erases the schemas, and changes it from, well, I don't believe I can get married, no woman's going to marry me, I'm not good enough to, I 100%, or at least 90%, 99.9% believe I can get married. There are many women, or there is at least one woman in the world that would marry me if she got to know me for who I am as a person. She would love me, marry me. That's what we got to change. Or some of my clients, not every single client wants to get married and get a wife. That's fine. Some clients want to have a relationship. They want to get a girlfriend, or they want to go on a date. They just want to experience love or connection, or to have that feeling of a woman being attracted to them. Wonderful, wonderful feeling. So if you don't believe that any woman would ever find you attractive, you've got to do the work. And the work is about being honest about the belief. Now it's like, do you want to change it? If you don't want to change it, I can't do anything for you. I can't help you. I can't help you. But if you say, I am desperate to change, I am committed, then we can work on it. Right, we've got to create a game plan, a strategy. How can we change the belief? If I don't believe that I can get a date with a woman because I've got a strong trauma from my childhood, and I've been feeding that for 10 or 15 years, and it's built up a lot of momentum, and it's got a lot of strength over me, and it tells me I'm not good enough and I'm not attractive, and it gives me negative evidence, and it brings me into the past, and it compares me to other men that have got wives or got girlfriends or confident. It makes me feel bad. I've got to challenge it. And the way I do it on a practical level is by going out and speaking to women and putting myself out there and being honest and being respectful to women and being respectful to yourself and working on yourself and setting goals and going to the gym and changing your diet, fixing your addictions and getting mentors and listening to motivational messages. You have to be fully committed, because these schemas, these negative beliefs are very, very strong. But the good news is you're stronger than them. Now, I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't change my schemas. I had the same schemas as all my clients. That's why I'm an excellent teacher. That's why I'm the best at what I do. What I do is help men who've got anxiety to build confidence and live the life that they want to live, and learn to control fear and anxiety and make fear their best friend as opposed to their worst enemy. So you have to practice fear. You have to practice being open. You have to practice going through embarrassing social situations. You have to have conversations that are honest, not just with women, but with people, with your family, with friends, with people in general. So there's a lot of work to be done. But guess what? When you do the work, it takes away the schemas and the darkness and the feelings of low self-esteem, of feeling not good enough, of not lovable, of abandoned. It takes all those feelings away. So the hard work will be rewarded. And you, listen, I mean this respectfully, if you take my advice and you maintain good values and you respect women and you respect yourself and you work hard and you be as honest as you can, you're going to be in shock. My clients are in shock when they see how many great women are out there, how many beautiful women, not just physically, but emotionally, intellectually, that are available to date you right now. They're all around the world. Every single man, whether he realizes it or not, I know this for a fact, there are women all around the world right now available to date you. But if you don't open your mouth, if you don't break out of being shy, if you don't challenge your schemas and your negative beliefs and the opinions that other people have said to you, then you're not going to meet these women, or this woman, this great woman that's waiting to meet you. Because she's not going to just knock on your door and say, oh, I love you, I want to marry. It's not going to happen. It's very unlikely. Hold on a minute, I think I heard a knock on the door. But honestly, you have to go out and make it happen. That's part of being a man. And, you know, hard work always creates luck. So when people say things like, well, you're lucky, Johnny, or you're lucky, well, I'm lucky because of the hard work that I put in. You'd be lucky if you worked as hard as I did and my clients. So you got to work hard. You can't just think, oh, I'm just going to do a little bit, read a book, or I'm going to buy a £10 video course. It's not going to work. It's not going to do it. It's just bollocks. It ain't going to work. So you've got to be committed, and you've got to face the fears. You've got to consciously suffer. You've got to suffer in the sense of facing these emotions, which are quite challenging and heavy. And when you do that, you grow as a person, and you blossom and you open up, and you just become more of what you are, and you change your perception of yourself, because it's nothing to do with women. The work that I do, it has nothing to do with women. It's everything to do with how you see yourself. It's all about how you see you. If you feel not good enough and you believe you're worthless, that's the life you're going to create. You're going to project that and you're going to get that. If you change your schemas and you set goals and you face your fears, you're going to gain confidence. Your thinking is going to change. You're going to get new experiences that are positive, that are going to disprove the old program's wrong. Because the old program is going to say, if I speak to a woman, she's going to think I'm bothering her. She's going to think I'm a creep. She's going to say, I don't want to get away from me. But when you're respectful and you're positive and you're sincere, that's not going to happen. It's very, very unlikely. And if that was to happen, you have to handle it and not take it personal and move on. There's millions of women. Just because one woman thinks, I don't want to talk to this guy, or he's not attractive, that doesn't qualify for every single woman's opinion of you. Absolutely not. But obviously, to get to this perspective, you have to put the work in. You've got to be brave and you've got to commit to it. Like anything, if you don't commit to the gym, then how are you going to get in shape? How are you going to lose the fat? How are you going to build muscle? How are you going to get fit? How are you going to improve the mechanics of your body and how you move, your performance? You're not. So it's all about putting in the work. And most of the work that I do with helping men is getting them to speak with honesty and getting them to open up with women and with themselves and their relationships. And a lot of that happens naturally during the time that we coach. And you probably can tell through getting to know me and my style of teaching that it's these types of conversations that change lives. They save lives. So that's why I keep doing these videos. I love it because it's going to reach the right people. So in order to overcome this fear, and let me explain, and I know you know it deep down, the fear comes back to the fear of being hurt. And I'm not underestimating how we all have it. Everyone is afraid of being hurt in a relationship. Anyone who says they're not is lying their arse off. But the difference is some of us are better at managing that fear. We're willing to take that risk. I'm willing to take that risk every single day in any relationship, whether it's business, love, life, because I built the self-esteem. I built up the confidence. I've expanded my consciousness. I've improved my schemas. I've done the work. I do the work every day. I've been doing the work 15 years. I've had mentors. I've been teaching hundreds of clients worldwide. So I have that confidence. I believe in myself. So I want you to have the same belief that I have about myself, for you, not for me, but for yourself. But you can only get the belief. You can't cheat the belief. You can't skim around the work and just get an anecdote. It doesn't work like that. You have to earn it. You have to develop it. You have to prove to yourself that you're worthy. And you do that by getting positive experiences and negative, and not letting the negative experiences break you. So that's why so many guys around the world have been inspired by my work, because when you've seen me get rejected 14 times, I'm not miserable, I'm not rude to women, I'm not resentful, I'm not breaking down. I take it like a man, I have respect, I appreciate it, I don't blame anyone, I don't blame women, and I still got a smile, and I take positives from it. The positives are, if I speak to 14 women and 14 women reject me, I'm still successful because I had the courage to speak to 14 women. And I treated them well, that makes me feel good. Regardless of how they treated me, I'm a gentleman. Just because a woman's going to reject me and maybe not be friendly to me, I'm not going to stop being who God made me to be. So that makes me feel good. And I know through that practice and those ethics, it's only a matter of time before a woman is going to want to go out with me. So I've always failed my way to success in everything that I've done. So that's why I tell the same stories, because they're all true. And the reason why you've got to say them 100 times to men, because it takes a long time for it to get into your head and for you to believe it. Not just to get into your head, but to get into your heart. So that's why we go over these things in the lessons, in the videos, wherever I'm speaking, because the schemas are strong. These schemas have been speaking to you in a bad way for 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, every day telling you you're not good enough, you're a loser, you're ashamed, you're not lovable, no one likes you. It's not true, none of it's true. But if you don't challenge it, change the schemas and start to talk to yourself in a way in which a person who loved themselves and who valued themselves and believed in themselves would talk to themselves, you ain't going to talk to yourself like that. You're going to say, I'm a confident man, I'm a good person, women do like me, people like me, I can achieve anything I put my mind to. I actually like the person I am, I like the way I live, I like the way I treat people, I love my life. And this is not false optimism. When you're living this, it becomes truth, it becomes who you are, what you believe. What you believe is what you achieve. So it's the mindset, it's the way you speak to yourself, and the way you speak to yourself is going to be a direct connection with the way that you act. So when I didn't believe in myself 15 years ago, I acted like a pussy, I acted like a coward. I acted like a man who had no courage, because I didn't. I sat in my flat, I avoided people, I avoided all intimacy because I was afraid of being hurt and being judged, and I didn't get anywhere in life. The next 15 years, I thought, I can't do this anymore, I'm going to kill myself, and I don't want to do that. It's either kill myself or go out, face everything and risk being hurt and destroyed. And I did that, and I transformed my life. And everything come from that. Financially, love, abundance came. In every single area of my life, every area abundance came. And abundance came the more that I help people. So there's no reason why any of you can't do this. But is it going to be easy? Hell no. It shouldn't be easy. You shouldn't expect it to be easy. You've got to stop being naive. Can you do it? Hell yeah, you can do it. Is it worth it? In my opinion, it's worth it. In my clients' opinions, it's worth it. See for yourself. So I've gone on a big tangent, but I needed to go on that tangent to stress a point. This fear of opening up connects to all these things. The schemas, the fears of not being good enough, the fears of being hurt. You're protecting yourself because you're afraid you're going to be hurt. But guess what? When you protect yourself from being hurt, it's the worst type of heartache a man could ever experience. I've been through it. So it's absolute agony. It's horrible. You're in darkness. I've been there, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. So there's two hurts in life. There's the hurt of protecting yourself from being hurt, which is agony, and it doesn't come with no love at all. It's horrible. Or there's the second one where you put yourself out and you love at the cost of knowing I can be hurt here, and then you experience real love in life. And real love, I know there's different interpretations, but we're talking about relationships, people. Real love is when you love unconditionally to a person and they love you unconditionally. And that connection between two people, I think it makes life living. It makes life worth living, sorry, to have that. And that's where healing takes place. See, I didn't need a book to read all this. I lived this, lived and breathed it, failed at it, succeeded at it, went through the pains and the aches, and I'm still here. Life is wonderful. So, to overcome this fear of abandonment, this fear of not being good enough, this fear of being hurt, you've got to face the truth. And I'm not saying you've got to face the truth in a weekend, however long it takes. For me to face the truth, it took me 15 years. I'm not saying it's going to take you 15 years, but I'm just giving you a time frame. But it was worth it for me. The first 15 years I lived in hell. And now the second chapter of my life, I guess metaphorically, I live in heaven. It's amazing, my life. So there's no reason why you can't do it. And as I said, this work is challenging, so no one could ever force a person to do this. They'd have to voluntarily want to do it. And whether you collaborate with me and I can help you and assist you and support you and give you the strength and encouragement, or you can go at it alone, all right? So that's the lesson today. That's how you overcome the fear of opening up. And the more you have purpose in your life, and I'll touch on this in another video, when you've got purpose, you're not as afraid of being hurt by a woman or a person in a relationship as you would be if you didn't have purpose in life. That has been my experience so far. And as the great Les Brown said, that's my story so far, and I'm going to stick to it, all right? Fearless, speak to you soon.